Mhm.
Boss, I gotta like give a little shout out because I was watching your videos to study for the level 3. So I just want to
Oh,
say thank
really?
you.
Okay. I hope they were good.
It's like Coach Jen, like, here we go, I'm in. Like just personable and relatable coaching. That
Oh,
is the biggest thing that stands out to me I mean, I'm not the greatest of tech savvy, book smart individuals, but I can talk a little bit of shit. And I think that's what coaching's all about. We kind of break
yeah.
those barriers down socially and bring them in the room and maybe give them a little bit of fitness. So, mate, I just want
Yes.
to say thank you.
Oh, well, you're quite welcome. So, I agree with you. It's about building relationships. I often say that you can't make a correction or correct anybody without a relationship. And
Mhm.
corrections are about connections, not about pointing out what somebody may be doing wrong. So you stated that very, very nicely.
Mm. Wow, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I think that's completely true too. People are just gonna completely ignore what you gotta say. My camera's just flipping out, but it's okay. Completely ignore what you're gonna say. Um, if you haven't built that rapport with them in the first place, right?
Because it doesn't mean anything,
It doesn't mean nothing.
it doesn't mean it, and I think there's a spectrum of feelings that we have from love to hate being the extreme, but you gotta feel something for somebody in order to make an impact on them, positive or negative. So
Mm,
if you don't have any feelings, then nothing
mm,
impact us. So that's just I'm an actor too. So I had a lot of my coaching analogies come from some of the best acting coaches I've had that, fits quite nicely with fitness training and coaching. I think actually one of my favorites, he's from the UK, uh, Andrew. He used to say, you want the audience to love you or love to hate you, but they can't hate you. Like, so they have to have so that's too far. They have some feeling, but you want to have them feel some way about you. So in order to make an impact or change on them.
wow.
I like that. It's like that's why I like that character on the what was on the in the US they call them the soap operas. I
Mm,
always liked the villainess, but
mm,
it wasn't because I liked the behavior. They were just so good, you just love to hate them. So
mm,
you tune in. And with coaching, the same thing. Like that coach that, oh, they're always on top of me. I just hate them. But you love the fact that they continue to pay attention to you.
exactly. Yeah, if you just stand there in the corner and just let the
Yeah.
people do their thing, they'll be like, "What am I paying for here, guys?"
Yeah.
You know,
So that's the kind of
sometimes
place I want to train in.
100%. Sometimes you need someone just on your ass, just
Right.
relentless, and you're like, "Give me a break, will you,
Right.
son?"
Yeah.
It's like, no,
Mhm.
you're not.
Nope. It's because I love you.
Exactly. So I'm just gonna plow you into oblivion. Like
Uh-huh.
that's it. That is coaching. I think it's so special, especially in the CrossFit scene. It's so special.
Mhm.
Like you do feel the love these coaches have got for you because they are just relentlessly pounding you with cues, and you're like, leave me alone,
Leave me alone.
you know?
Those cues are always tempered with that empathy and compassion,
Mm,
right? It's one thing, and we talk about it more in the level two, finding that balance of relentlessness with that acknowledgement of improvement. So
mm.
yes, we want to continue to pound them, but we temper that with kindness and grace. And I have my 3-year-old is going to interrupt. All right, I'm coming.
That's all right. They can say
So
hello.
you get 2 for 1. You gonna say hello, Sissy? No, she's shy.
Oh,
You
it's
may see
okay.
her. Okay, but yeah, so that's my approach or philosophy to coaching. Like you said, I've been coaching a long time, but I by no means think I'm the best. And I continue to hone my craft like with everything and surround myself with coaches who are better than me so I
Mm,
can continue to improve. And but what I do feel good at, I take full advantage of. Like I'm good with people.
mm,
My degree's in psychology, so I use that heavily. To once you understand what motivates somebody, either it's fear or desire, then I know how to like push you
mm.
appropriately. So I'm pretty good. I would say my best gift as a coach is reading people like within 30 seconds, like how am I going to engage with this person? And that's I think a very important skill to develop and have.
100%. You know, we're not in the business of fitness. We're in the business of people, right? You know,
Mhm.
without the people, we've got no business, and the lights don't stay on.
Exactly.
You know,
Mm,
so I think that's really important. You know, they have to come first, and reading them, and the energy that changes when they come in the room, and the body
right.
language when you say certain things, and you're like, okay, cool. I have to kind of navigate this way for this
Yeah.
individual, and then differently for someone else, and
Mhm.
it keeps us coming back as well, right? Because it's
Oh,
entertaining.
absolutely entertaining. And for newer coaches, I often encourage them to first figure out who you are,
Hmm.
because if you don't know who, people can read through that. So you talked about if having no business, if all of that, like people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Is another thing that we talk about in the level 2 as well. So in order to know that, you have to come from an authentic and genuine place. And that's where
100%.
caring comes from. So know thyself. And then once you do that, then, sky's the limit for how you are able to project that self to others and they read you. And like you said, what keeps them coming back? If people, whether they identify with it or not, they know phony, right? Right. They know when somebody's being disingenuous or uh, not authentic, and they won't come back. They're like, there's something about that person I don't like. So that's how I try to engage with the people that I'm blessed to have in my care. And just every human that I encounter, I try to be who I am. And that ain't for everybody, Alex. Which but part of my what I kind of and sorry I talk a lot, Alex.
Oh, you go for it.
Part of my not mantra philosophy is trying to not care so much about what other people think that you're doing. Like if you know who you are and lead from that place, doesn't matter.
Mm,
I don't know if you're familiar. It's something I've read a while back that it resonated with me in that what somebody else thinks about you is not your business.
mm,
And I just love that. I was like, okay. So whenever I start second guessing or like, ooh, should I post that? I was like, how did I feel about it? That was for me, not for what I think somebody else is going to think of me. Yes, very nice, Sissy. And she's dressing up like Wonder Woman right now. And another thing that I share with people that I mentor too is especially now with social media and like likes and all of those things, try to make yourself immune to criticism and praise.
mm-hmm.
And I think that's really important because if you're just attracted or lured by the praise, whenever you do get something negative, it just like takes you out. And I want to be able to just keep a even level or way of how I approach everything. So that means I can't be overly excited or eager to get praise because then I'm not doing it for myself. I think I'm doing it for what I think other people are going to give to me. And then when somebody gives me something that I wasn't expecting or was negative, then I'm like, oh, I suck. And that's not where anybody should live. Like, I think now because we get so much feedback, positive and negative, we need to try to create a buffer or immunize ourselves or um, keep ourselves true to center, which is not affected either way by the positive or the negative in coaching and in life.
Through the center, man. Like I really, really like that. You know, staying calm and remaining calm. You know, we all
Yeah,
kind of are forced in this knee-jerk reaction, and usually that's the emotions kind of going up or down. And you're
right.
like,
Uh-huh.
guys, just figure yourself out, calm down, let it
Oh, yeah.
happen. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you get smashed by the waves, and other times it just slowly just takes you to the shore. You know,
Yeah.
and I mean, feedback's great, but don't let
Yeah.
yourself get all entangled in it. You know,
Right.
it's like, oh no, I need this praise. It wasn't a 10 out of 10. You're like, guys, come on. Like,
Yeah. It's hard and it's hard. Like it's a daily practice for me.
mm,
I had meditation this morning had to deal with passion and patience. Like you need,
Mm,
Maya Angelou said, you need both in equal amounts. And something about the patience part in particular resonated with me because you can be too passionate and then you're affected by those changes or fluctuation. But if you have the patience and just find that calm, like you said,
mm.
then you'll be all right, and marry that with that. So, trying to find that. And sometimes that means taking a pause. And that knee-jerk reaction you mentioned, I think when we don't know the answers or you feel like you want to jump in, that's the patience. Take a pause, take a breath, collect yourself, and then speak. I think too often we speak too soon before we think about it, and then we
Mm,
may have regret about it, or maybe not. But I think it's okay
mm.
to collect yourself and think about what you really want to say and be intentional and deliberate.
Yeah, like everything now is instantaneous, right? People want
Right,
it yesterday.
right.
There is no kind of earning anything or digesting or figuring out, no process anymore. It's just instant. And I find it quite strange, because
Mhm.
it's like you expect to get it correct the first time. I was like, I don't think I've ever done anything right first time in my life, like,
No, no, me either. I'm still making mistakes every day. And what a blessing to make a mistake so then you
mm,
can learn. If we get it right, then what's the point of the journey? So, not that it's your intention to get it wrong, but you will. And you
mm,
learn from it and you move forward. It's just like failing with anything. Like when I talk about in the level one, we have the test, right?
mhm,
And when I'm a flow master, so I lead the course supervisor, just like the tour guide,
mhm.
and um, I open up by asking people if they're nervous about anything and what are they nervous about, and they say failing the test, and I'm like, well, this is like 9 o'clock on day one. The test is like, going to be a whole 24 hours or more from now. So don't worry about it. That's somewhere off in the distant future, but be right here, right now. And then consider what have you done to prepare yourself. And then that may allow your nerves. If you did not read the training guide, the participant handbook, watch the videos, been practicing CrossFit, then you have reason to be nervous. If you have done those things, you may still be a little bit nervous, but trust all the preparation that you've done to prepare
Mm,
you to get to this moment. And then be here with us as we uh, hopefully reinforce the things that you've already prepared for in the course.
mm,
And I think that's a lesson that I try to teach to my children and for myself to practice when I don't get things. Like I said,
mm.
I'm an actor as well. I don't get most of the things I audition for, and I could, cry about it. And I was like, but there's a lot of other people out there that are doing it too. And it wasn't that I did a bad job. It just wasn't the right job for that particular person. Yes, in the other room. Go ahead, sis. I apologize.
No,
I was
no, no, please
I had
don't.
her set up with her show, but she doesn't want to doesn't want to go.
Supposed to be on a
But
different show.
yes, she wants to be in a different show. But the that's what I try to encourage young people. Don't be deterred by a setback or a failure. And
Mm,
this is a good lesson for not just young people, just people who are as advanced in age as myself. Um, use that as a stepping stone. Like, how bad do I want it? And if I want it bad enough, this no or this failing grade or score is not going to deter me. I'm going to come back
mm,
and I'm going to earn it
mm.
and know that I earned it. If I get it the first time, great, because I did all that stuff. That's awesome. But I found that my most meaningful accomplishments have come from a failure
Every time.
every time, because it's something about like when it happened, hey, that's great. Just like, oh, here you go. Yes. But something about like, no, but all right. I hear you say no, but I know I want that. And I
Mhm.
know I can get it. And now I'm going to do everything that I can to earn it. And it's mine. And nobody can take that away from you.
100%.
Mhm.
Sometimes what you bring to the table is it's not quite right.
Right.
for this instant. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. I gotta go away. I gotta figure it out. I gotta kind
Mhm.
of learn some new stuff. I gotta change some things around. And they're gonna come back to the table and they're like, still not right there, mate. You're like, okay, let me go back away, do the same thing again. Like,
Do it again.
it's gonna
And
take
then
a
we'll
while.
see. Take a while. During that process, maybe I discover that there's something else I should be doing.
Mm,
Because the other side of the coin to that is that there's meaning in everything. So perhaps there's another path that I should be taking, but I won't give up so easily if I have like some type of feeling about something. Let me pursue this to the end of it. And then on that journey, I may discover like this little side road. This is the path that I should be on.
mm.
And that's guided me pretty well throughout life. It kind of landed where I'm supposed to be. Because mommy doesn't know where it is. But you go look. Well, I can't. I'm talking to Mr. Alex right now. Can you say excuse me? Come here. Say excuse me. Come here, Wonder Woman. Or I'm not gonna go look. Apologies. Come here.
No, no, please don't.
Come here. Mommy life. Come here, little one. All right. You say hi.
Hey,
Hi. This is Hope. All right. You go in the other room and then I'll find it for you, okay? All right. Where was so yes, so that's I getting all philosophical. I wasn't sure what we'd be talking about. Coaching, life, just
I
anything.
I just let conversations flow. I'm interested in a lot of things, and especially in talking coaching. I think it bridges
Yeah.
off into life so eloquently. It's not like you
Yeah.
come in 60 minutes, okay, bye, see you later. It's like, no,
Nah.
our goal is to make them better out there, and we do that by teaching them how to squat in here. It's this weird kind of
Yeah.
dynamic, right? And it's all about dealing with adversity and calming
Mhm,
yourself down with stress in stressful environments and doing stuff
mhm.
that you never thought you'd be able to do. Confidence, yeah, okay, it
Yeah.
bridges in the psychology. I'll
Yeah.
let the psychology major take that over. I'm just the
Yeah.
guy that helps people move. Like,
But then yours, like, I mean, we are as coaches experts in like human behavior and
mhm,
movement as well, because we see people interact in this environment in the box, and you're kind of the orchestrator of all that in terms of building community, and then that translating out into the world when they leave. So we have a tremendous opportunity, uh, power as coaches to do that, to be an agent of possible change or transformation within somebody, not only physically, but emotionally and psychologically, into like what they can do. I was listening to a podcast. Ooh, I listened to a lot. Was it, I think last week, and talking about, we need to do hard things.
mhm,
We are uh, polished and cre- what's the word I would look for? Created out of our, not necessarily it has to be hardship, but by doing those things, they forge a resilience in all of us. So doing CrossFit is a form of that hard thing that has, because of our modern times and how we live, we don't have those challenges that maybe our forefathers, our ancestors did. So we need to create that because it's part of being human, I think.
mhm.
That if we don't do that, we lose touch with the physical world. Yeah, she's working out. That's my child. She's riding a Concept 2 bike right now. So that is something I could do with my kids as well. So they're not sitting in front of a screen all day. And you're going to come in the gym, you're going to move, you're going to go outside, you're going to play in the dirt. You're going to do these things so that you are in touch with what it is to be human, which isn't interacting. I mean, we are interacting on a screen right now because otherwise we wouldn't be able to interact. but for the most part, like if that's how we did it 24/7, I I don't know what kind of existence that is. And so in the gym, that's like awesome to, move and feel like when you're working hard that you accomplish something.
Mhm.
just for that 60 minutes in the day. Whatever else happens after that, I did something hard
Mhm.
and I
100%.
survived it. And I survived it. And so,
100%.
mhm,
You know, I wrote something, I think it was yesterday, of we physically suffer so we can mentally endure, you know, and that's the whole point, you know. You kind of we need this instantaneous proving ground of the gym to just be like, oh, okay, like I'm not gonna die if I do a thruster. I was like, are you
yeah,
crazy? And then it's
uh-huh.
oh, okay, cool. I can prepare for that meeting, and I'm good
Yes,
enough. I put in 8 years in my craft. I can go for that meeting or
absolutely.
promotion, right?
Mhm.
And it,
That got me through two difficult deliveries. I was like, I could do Fran in under 4 minutes. Okay,
yeah,
I can
100.
get through this. This is painful, but I can do this. I can do this. Yeah, sure.
Maybe that's the new slogan. Fran helps pregnancy.
Yes, Fran helps pregnancy. You can do Fran, that's nothing. They call it labor, not vacation. My favorite midwife said that, and I love this to this day. It was like 15 years ago. I heard her say, you should move during your pregnancies or work out because it's called labor, not vacation. So you better be able to work. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I love that of encouraging movement. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like let's flip the switch on the head and say, hey, not in the CrossFit scene, completely out,
Yeah.
stereotypical commercial gym. You know, back in
Uh,
the day, it's like, oh, you're pregnant? No, 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 it's okay. Just sit down. You're like,
yeah.
are you crazy?
I know. What was considered like you were ill, like back in the 50s, like just sit on the couch or don't do anything. And uh, I don't know where that came from because if you go to countries or places where they don't have the luxury of sitting down and doing that, you're out in the fields or whatever you're doing, well, pregnant, delivering sometimes out there.
Mm,
So that's work. And to prepare your body for this uh, workout, for lack of that's going to happen, you got to be in shape.
mm,
You got to be able to have endurance and stamina to get through that. So it doesn't have to be CrossFit. It doesn't have to. I think it's very important for women pre pregnancy, during pregnancy, and post to prepare and repair your body.
100%. And they might have to look a little different, right? And they might have to look a little different from person to person. But we
Mm-hmm.
definitely need to do a better job of like opening up those shutter doors and be like, no, 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 come on
Right.
in, guys.
Come
You
on
know,
in.
we're gonna do something here. Like, no,
Mhm.
no, I can't. I was like, great, I'm not gonna smash you in the face, you
No.
know. Just but come in, let's just move.
Like now is the time for not PRing, but intention behind like why are we training to
Mm,
prepare? And uh I think research I can't cite specifically supports that idea that women who train before and during pregnancy have better outcome.
mm. I
And
would,
even for the children as well.
yeah, 100%. Like I'm really intrigued to see how Tia recovers.
Oh yeah. I mean the baby almost beat me on 22.1.
It's insane.
Thing. Uh but it just shows, most women aren't going to be at that level, but just highlighting that you are capable and we want to be intentional about like how we train and don't be afraid to ask for help. Like
Mm,
my training is in pre and postnatal space, and so I don't have a program. I do more individual, so people who are near me, because I don't have as much time and am so selective about clients that I can work with based on my time. Um, but I do advocate for women to find specialists or providers that can help them and support them during that time, whether they be doulas, midwives, trainers that have expertise, so that you can make your own decisions ultimately, but be
mm,
informed about those decisions that you're making.
mm. I love that, man. I think the gym is the environment of it's a
Mhm.
catalyst. You know,
Yeah.
it improves lives, and the more people we can expose to that the better, you know, because then they go improve their lives outside, and they come out with a baby, and they come back with
Yeah.
a diploma or whatever, right?
Whatever they do. And I like something else that you said, like the gym, like the vibe, but a place where you can collect the resources that people need to
Mm,
live best life that they have. Like I'm not an expert of everything, but I can network
mm,
and develop relationships with others so that when somebody comes to me because I have that relationship with them. Like Jen, I'm looking for, pelvic floor PT. Ah, you know what? I got two that I've seen myself and that I know get what we do and that are going to help guide you through this time. Here you go.
mm.
Versus like I know everything because I don't. Like I said, I work really hard at what I'm good at and seek out others and surround myself with others that are more knowledgeable or smarter than me. As my dad, who I think is one of the wisest men in the world, often said, if you find yourself the smartest amongst your friends, you need new friends.
100%.
Coaching wise, too, if you find yourself the best coach amongst the circle that you're in, you need to find other coaches to be around to
Yep.
elevate your game.
I could not agree more. You know, I don't like being the smartest in rooms, which in 99.9% of rooms I'm not. So that's okay. I'm I'm welcome in those rooms, but I don't like being the smartest in the room. And it doesn't make any sense to me. You know, you're like, no, 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 here, hold on a minute. Why are we always going for one perspective
Uh-huh.
on multiple different things in multiple different modalities, right? We would have to go, okay, well, yeah, you come to me for certain things, great, and then we'll go to somebody else for something different. You're like, yeah, that the melting pot of ideas, the synergistic effect of all of them coming together is
Mhm.
what creates progress rather than just, oh yeah, I think we should be going left. Why? Because I said so. You're like,
Right, exactly. There's one of my other various jobs on top. I was a middle school teacher for 2 years
wow.
at school, and I'm learning some things now that I wish I had employed back then. I also taught alternative middle school. So the kids that I taught were this public school system in the US. So that's free school. And the kids in alternative school were kicked out of regular public school for mostly behavioral problems.
Wow.
So my kids were tough and it was hard to break through. And now I wish I had asked more questions of them.
Mm,
There's I got to get it to you, an article that was given to me from one of the other flow masters in our trainings. It's called The Sage on the Stage. Is it better to be the sage on the stage or the guide on the side?
mm,
And so I endeavor to be the guide on the side
mm,
because the sage on the stage, like you said, just tells you, just do it. Because I said so, like why? There are no questions versus the guide on the side helps in active learning. So you want questions so you guys can talk it through and figure it out.
mm,
Like I told you, I want your feet shoulder width distance apart for the squat, toes slightly turned out. Okay, why? Or like that hurts. If you say that hurts, you're like, well, that's what I said, just do it. Then we're not communicating, right? I'm like, okay, let's figure out what hurts. My knee. I'm like, oh, okay. When you're shoulder width distance apart, you're uh you aren't able to drive your knees out as well, perhaps, or something. So let's play around with the placement a little bit. Maybe turn your toes more forward or bring you in. Now squat. How does that feel? That's better. I like, okay, then that's your squat versus being so rigid with prescriptions. Like most of the time it's going to fit most people. Like I'll say, in terms of when we're teaching, you want to have a kind of standard way of introducing the movements to a group of people, but they might not be fit for everyone all the time. But you have to be open to figure it out. Like be a detective, be curious always, and like, all right, what's gonna work best? So that's your squad. And we may make some changements. I mean, not change, make some changes over time, like based on uh, your as you're coming into the gym, becoming more confident and consistency. Maybe we can play around with the footwork, but safety first and then performance. And you're always going to get that feedback from your athlete on what works well. And that's that relationship part, not being cut off and helping guide people to what's going to be best for them and that they understand it too. versus just being like, oh, coach said so.
Mm, for sure. You got to teach the movement and coach the individual, right?
Right,
You know,
exactly.
we might teach textbook and you're like, great, that looks great in a textbook, but in front of me, that might look a little different. So we're going to have to move that around and
Uh-huh.
just
And
slowly play chess, you know?
huh? Exactly. It's very fluid and organic how those things happen and develop. And again, my acting analogies, I do improv.
Mm,
And so whenever I'm coaching, it is kind of like improv. In improv, you don't know what's going to happen, what's going to be said next. If I do and have this script that I follow all the time, when something goes off script, how am I going to deal with that?
mm,
Right. But then that takes me out of being present because I'm already focused on what's the next thing I'm going to say versus being right here with my athlete or my class.
mm.
Is it Mike Tyson said everybody's got a plan till they get punched in the face?
Yeah,
So I have a lot of quotes, but
that's coaching right there, though.
that's coaching right there, and it's true. Like you got a lesson plan, and you're like, "This is brilliant," and then you get going, you're like, "No, this is not gonna work." That's why you gotta have a backup plan. Like this is not going the way that I thought it would. You have like that
Yeah.
one person show up that ruins the bunch. Just you're like, yikes. So absolutely.
Oh, I love that. I love that part of coaching, man. You know, it's
Mhm.
so special just kind of go and figure it out on that dance floor. And you're like, oh, I thought my plan was absolutely stellar and bulletproof. And yeah.
No, it was brilliant, and then it wasn't.
And then little
But
Jimmy's come in and just completely ruined it. You're like, brilliant.
yep,
Thanks, guys. Here
thank
we
you so much.
go.
But that's that preparation. So if you're not prepared or thinking about those things, then you have a less effective class.
Mm,
But when those things happen, you embrace it. That's what makes us human. Humility versus like not letting I'd be like, my bad, guys. Whoop, I messed that one up. Or they're like, what coach? I thought it was it. You're right. Let's do it this way.
mm,
And being okay with that. And I think that goes back to like taking a moment, a pause, not being afraid to make a mistake.
mm.
And the mistake is only bad if you don't learn from it.
100%.
Make it. Just don't make the same one again.
100%.
Right? You'll make a new one. It's all right. Don't worry.
There's enough out there.
There's enough out there.
Yeah, like,
Absolutely.
I got three questions.
Okay.
What's the greatest piece of life advice you've ever received?
Hmm. Never be afraid of your own greatness.
Oof, that's beautiful.
There was a director I worked with years ago when I first moved to New York, and I sometimes fall short of it because I forget. But we are all great. Don't be afraid of it.
What's the worst piece of life advice you've ever received?
Hmm. The worst piece. Uh, don't worry. I'm gonna worry. So don't tell me don't to worry because I'm going to. Tell me
Yeah,
how to deal with that worry.
don't worry. Yeah, if it was only that simple.
It's only that simple. Okay.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll give that
Thanks.
a go.
Yeah, it's like correcting. You identified the problem, but you haven't showed me how to fix it.
Yeah, just highlight the problem to me a little bit more, you know? I need to
Yeah.
know that. What are the three words you tell your younger self?
Repeat that again.
What are the three words you would tell your younger self?
Three words I would tell my younger self. It's gonna be it's gonna be amazing. Patience and get more sleep.
Yeah, yeah. I think most people can benefit from that last one.
A little bit more sleep, but it's gonna be amazing. I think don't worry about what hasn't happened yet. That's what I mean by that.
Mm,
Like trust the process, be in the now because that only happens once.
mm,
And if you're too focused on what you think or what you want is going to happen, you're going to miss out on what's happening right in front of you. And I think that's something that I've learned after I've had children. Because
mm,
people say all the time, they're like, you're going to miss this. Like, make sure you pay attention because they're going to grow up so fast. Right? The days are long, but the years are short. And
mm.
that is so true. So don't worry, everybody. It's going to be amazing. be in the now, and the rest will take care of itself. And get some sleep.
Oh, amazing. Jen, thank you so much.
Oh, well, thanks, Alex, for having me. I'm sorry we had a little disruptor.
No,
But that's who I am. I'm a mom 24/7, and my kids are with me all the time when they're not in school. So they will never say that my mom wasn't around.
I love it. They're always welcome.
Oh,
Always.
well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to spend some time with you,
Thank you,
and
Jen.
I hope you enjoy. I hope it was what you thought it would be.
Oh, anyone that wants to have a conversation about anything, I'm in. I just
Oh, cool.
want to say thank you, and yeah, maybe one time we get to throw down in a CrossFit gym.
Okay, well, if you ever make your way over to the US, you come check us out in New York at CrossFit Garden City.
I will do indeed. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome, Alex. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jen. Speak soon. Bye,
Okay.
everybody.